Cars are an important part of the daily life of Malaysians, and from an economic perspective, the cost of fuel represents a big part of our monthly budget. Because of that, we are willing to try many different things to save fuel. One of these fuel-saving techniques are by using fuel additives and engine treatment products. X1R is a very well-known fuel and engine treatment product that has been on the market since the 1990s. They claim the product can protect engines from friction and wear and tear. To prove their point, in one of their advertising campaigns, they poured the product into a plane engine and drained all its engine oil mid-flight. Despite not having any engine oil, the plane continued its flight and landed safely without a problem. There are two parts in the X1R treatment package. The first is the engine treatment, which you pour into your engine. What it does is dramatically reduces friction, reduce engine noise, vibrations, operating temperature and engine wear and tear, and increase engine life, horsepower and fuel economy. The other part of the treatment is the petrol treatment, which you pour in your fuel tank with the petrol. It claims to restore lost power, remove moisture from petrol tank and fuel lines, reduce carbon, varnish and gum deposits, make spark plugs last longer, and should be repeated every 5,000 kilometers. So altogether, both products claim to increase engine performance, improve fuel economy, and increase engine life, so they claim. But the question is, do they really work? To find out, we organized our own test run of the product using our Proton Saga FLX SV with a manual transmission. We started our test at the petrol station near Bulatan Kampung Pandan, where we filled up with petrol. The technique we use to fill up is to fill until the pump kicks back, wait for 5 seconds, and fill it again until it kicks back once again. The same technique is used when refilling the tank for the second run. The first run serves as a control run, so we did not add anything to the car. We started our journey to Cyberjaya via Max. We drove at a fairly constant speed within the speed limit. Things were fine at the beginning until it started to rain halfway. This may or may not affect the results, but we continued to test anyway. After the Putrajaya toll, we entered Cyberjaya to take a U-turn back into Max. We had to stop to top up our Touch and Go card, so that will slightly affect our results. Not long after, we arrived back at the petrol station near Bulatan Kampung Pandan. We filled up and took the readings and proceeded to pour in our X1R petrol treatment and engine treatment products. We then continued our second run using the same route. However, this time the weather was clear, with no rain, but there was a short jam of 2 to 3 minutes on the way back. When we arrived back at the petrol station, we filled up and took the readings. On the first run, we managed to get an average of 0.0466 liters per kilometer, while on the second run, we managed to get an average of 0.0372 liters per kilometer. This was after factoring in the amount of X1R petrol treatment that was poured into the full tank. This means the fuel efficiency of the car managed to improve 20.17% when the first run is compared to the second run. After both runs, we decided to test the car on a normal daily usage until we used up the whole tank. What we noticed is this car that usually gets not more than 350 kilometers on a full tank manages to get a 378.9 kilometer range as the fuel warning light comes on after using X1R. As a conclusion, although we realize that our test is far from perfect, there is evidence X1R actually does increase fuel efficiency of our car. However, After taking into account a margin of error, the actual savings are about 15%, not 20% as we calculated. This means at the petrol price at the time of testing, we could have saved about 12 ringgit worth of fuel per tank. But it's also important to note that we bought our set of X1R products for 60 ringgit during an online sale. The normal price of the set is 100 ringgit. So for us, we needed 5 full tanks worth of fuel in order to save the same amount of money we spent on X1R. So depending on the size and capacity of your own car, you should consider calculating the estimated amount of savings for your car before buying X1R.